You want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
You can't handle the truth!
Well, we're giving you the Michigan Sports Truth, the show that reveals facts, truth, research, and statistics and never messes around. We lay down the entire truth about everything regarding your Detroit and Michigan sports teams, no matter if it's good or bad. No junk, no entertainment, no homerism, no coddling, no pop culture, no opinions, no shilling, and no fluff. Head over to our website at MichiganSportsTruth.com, follow us on Twitter at Michigan_Truth, and like our Facebook page, The Michigan Sports Truth. The hosts of the Michigan Sports Truth podcast do not take any suggestions or criticism from any member of its audience on how it should be run. It is up to the host to decide what they want to cover. They also do not intend to be any amount of popular in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Additionally, the views of the audience, right or wrong, do not reflect the actual truth revealed on this program.
This is the Postgame Edition for May 1st, 2018, and the fire danger is about to be over with early tomorrow morning. But this is not about the weather. This is about Michigan sports here. And the Tigers edged the Rays 2-1 in the Battle of Mediocrity at Comerica Park. Well, Matt Boyd pitched yet another good game, and he finally got his first win. Got to hand it to him. Proves to 1-2. 6 innings, 1 earned run, 7 hits, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, 2.48 ERA. Alex Wilson gave up only a hit in a scoreless 7th. Joe Jimenez sent him up and down on the 8th. 2 strikeouts, almost struck out the side. The Tampa Bay Rays are 13-15 now. Still mediocre, 4th place, but the pitching for the Tigers tonight was solid. Shane Green got his 5th save. He sent him up and down. 2 strikeouts, no hits, no nothing. No walks. The entire pitching staff pitched lights out. It doesn't guarantee anything for the entire team this year. The Tigers are still out of the power rankings for sure. They're going to play, and they're probably going to play the American League Comedy Central teams for most of the season, but they got tougher teams like the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Astros, the Mariners, the Angels, and even the Athletics, who are not tanking. The Athletics are 14-14 when they were projected to be bad. Also got some interleague teams, some of which may be tough as well. Others may not be so tough. So we'll have to see what happens during the regular season, but we're keeping an eye on things as we go along. That's what we do here at the Michigan Sports Truth. Tigers and Rays at 1:10 tomorrow. Let's see who's on the mound here. Michael Fulmer versus Blake Snell. Fulmer's 1-2 with a 2.76 ERA and 22 strikeouts. Blake Snell 4-1, 2.52 ERA, 41 strikeouts. Statistically, a better pitcher than Michael Fulmer. And as of right now, the Rays And where they're standing at right now, have to either sell or stand pat by the trade deadline this year. The non-waiver trade deadline, that would be. But that's baseball talk. Why don't we go on to the Pistons here? The Pistons, according to sources from Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN, want Stan Van Gundy back next season, and preferably with front office changes. Pistons owner Tom Gores wants Stan Van Gundy to return as coach for the final year of his 5-year contract, but would prefer for that scenario to include structural changes to the franchise's front office, league sources told ESPN. In other words, Tom Gores would only want Stan Van Gundy to come back as head coach of the Pistons, but not as team president. Like we pointed out earlier, Stan Van Gundy and Tom Gores have been talking a lot as of late. And those front office changes have to do with general manager Jeff Bauer. And Jeff Bauer's in the final year of his contract, too. So, as far as I can tell, they might be targeting Jeff Bauer as in getting rid of him. And removing Stan Van Gundy only from the team president role. So, just the head coaching position is all that Stan Van Gundy would have as of in the near future. So, we're going to keep an eye on things and who they hire as a team president and whether or not they fire Jeff Bauer, and if they do, if they do, then who will be hired as GM. It's time to make things right again. Because the Pistons have been a failure mostly to make the playoffs. They've only made the playoffs once in Stan Van Gundy's career. They've just never won a playoff game. That's it. Yeah, you got the Blake Griffin trade, which Van Gundy and Bauer engineered. Reggie Jackson has become injury prone as of the last 2 years. And then the final paragraph, the Pistons could be well positioned for a return to the playoffs with a healthy roster next season. If it stays healthy, may I add, personally. May I add, in reality. So, the Pistons, if Reggie Jackson continues to be injury prone, then they've got problems. That's the biggest example of why the Pistons just can't make the playoffs. And even with or without Reggie Jackson, well, who knows? It depends. They might not. But they got tougher teams to deal with. The Cleveland Cavaliers, the Houston Rockets, the Golden State Warriors, the Boston Celtics, the Philadelphia 76ers, the Miami Heat, the Toronto Raptors, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Utah Jazz. The New Orleans Pelicans. Etc. So there you go. That's Pistons. Now, we go to some hockey here. The Red Wings are projected with their 6th overall pick to select Quentin Hughes, a defenseman from the University of Michigan. He is according to the midterm CSB ranking, North American, he's ranked 4th. Final CSB ranking was 6. NHL.com has his scouting report from David Gregory. Quentin is a smooth-skating mobile defenseman who carries the puck very well and can transition from defense to offense with his feet or by making a pass. He reads the play very well and uses good positioning and the use of his angles to defend. Projects to be a top 4 defenseman in today's game because of his skating and puck skills. His profile. He recorded a 5-24, 5-goal, 24-assist, 29-point season in 37 games played at the University of Michigan with the Wolverines in the last season, where he was named to the Big Ten All-Rookie team and 2nd All-Star team. He was a member of Team USA's gold medal winning entry at the 2017 Under-18 World Championship, a goal, 4 assists, 5 points in 7 games played, and earned a bronze medal at the 2018 World Junior Championship with just 3 assists in 7 games played. So you can see his statistics. So that's Quentin Hughes. Rasmus Dahlin, the guy the Red Wings failed to get, is projected to be picked by the Buffalo Sabres. Without the shadow of a doubt, all bets are off. All bets are on him. All bets are not off. They're on the Sabres to pick Rasmus Dahlin, according to Vegas. So, that's exactly what will happen in the NHL entry draft in 2018. And that is all the truth I have for tonight. Now it's time for Louis Tenore's National Sports Report. Louis's cell is having problems, temporary problems at least, hopefully. Only temporary, hopefully. But he's got his other home phone, and he's ready for his National Sports Report. Louis, take it away.
Yeah, and it's going to be only temporary, folks, so don't worry. All right, we'll start on the diamond. Right now, top of the ninth. Well, if you like pitchers duels, folks, boy, we got a game for you. As the Yankees and the Astros now in the top of the ninth with a scoreless tie, 0-0 right now. Giles is pitching and Judge is coming to bat. Let's see what he can do. If you like pitchers duels, great. If you don't, boring as anything. The Rangers over the Indians, 8-6 in 12 innings. Claudio got the win and Goody got the loss. Nationals pound the Pirates 12-4. Scherzer got the win and Kelly got the loss. 12-4, oh boy. Tigers edge the Rays 2-1. Boyd got the win. Archer got the loss, and Green got the save. Brewers edge the Reds 7-6. Anderson got the win. Bailey got the loss, and Jeffries got the save. Braves beat the Mets 3-2. Soroka got the win. Schneider got the loss, and Vizcaino got the save. Top of the 11th right now, the Royals and the Red Sox are tied at 3. Embry is pitching in. Solar is a bat. There's a runner on first and 2 out. Final in 10 innings, the Marlins edge the Phillies 2-1. Taswana got the win, and Rios got the loss. another final here as the Rockies beat the Cubs 3-1. Gray got the win. Hendricks got the loss, and Davis got the save. Top 8 in a 4-4 tie between the Blue Jays and Twins. Runner on second and one out. Reed is pitching, and Garnell is at bat. Top 8, White Sox lead the Cardinals 2-1 with a runner on first and 2 out. Lenore is pitching, and Thompson is at bat. Going into the bottom of the 4th, the Dodgers lead the D-backs 3-1. Goldschmidt is pitching, and Pollock is coming back. Top of the 3rd, it's scoreless between the Orioles and the Angels. 1 out, nobody on. Thompson is pitching, and Mancini is at bat. Athletics and the Mariners tied at 1, going in the top of the 3rd. Hernandez is pitching, and Pinder is at bat. And the bottom of the 2nd, the Padres lead the Giants 1-0 with 1 out, nobody on. Ross is pitching, and Slater is at bat. All right, so let's go to the ice. All right, so we'll take care of it. Oh no, let's do the standings, of course. All right, and the standings. This is now we enter 1 month of the season, and this is how it works. Now, we're only going into the end of the 5th week already. All right. Well, right now, the Red Sox are still in front at 21-7, have a 3-game lead over the Yankees, 18-10, pending outcome of the game. Blue Jays are 16-12, 5 back. Rays, 8 back at 13-15, and the Orioles, 13 back already at 8-20. Looks like a long season at Camden Yards, folks. Oof. All right. Central Division. Indians are 15-13, have a 3-game lead over the Tigers at 12-16. Twins 9-15, 4 back. White Sox 8-18, 6 back, and the Royals 8 back at 7-21. This looks like to be the weak division. Ugh. Western Division. Astros 20-10, pending outcome of the game between the Yankees. The Mariners are 2.5 back at 16-11. Angels 16-12, 3 back. Athletics 14-14, 5 back, and the Rangers 8.5 back at 12-19. National League, the Mets still holding on with 17-10. Right behind them, though, are the Braves at 17-11, a half game back. Phillies not far behind either, 16-13, only 2 back. Nationals, despite their struggling at 14-16, are just 4.5 back, and the Marlins are 7 back at 11-18. Yeah, it feels a lot worse. In the Central, the Cubs are 16-11, and the Brewers are 18-13. So it's a kind of like a virtual tie, but the Cubs lead in percentage points, 593 to 581. There's your difference. Pirates are just a half game back at 17-13. Cardinals just a game back at 15-12, and 10.5 back are the Reds at 7-23. May 1st, they don't even have 10 wins yet. My goodness. All right. The West Diamondbacks keep rolling at 20-8. Have a 5.5 game lead over the Giants at 15-14, and the Rockies at 16-15, also 5.5 back. Dodgers 12-16, 8 back, and the Padres 11 back at 10-20. All right, so shall we check tomorrow's schedule? And it reads like this. For your May 2nd matchups, we read this way. Leading off with afternoon games starting at 1:05 as the Royals take on the Red Sox. 1:10 games are the Rangers versus the Indians, the Rays versus your Tigers, the Blue Jays take on the Twins. 1:15, the White Sox take on the Cardinals. At 2:20, the Rockies take on the Cubs. 3:45, the Padres take on the Giants. Nighttime games go as follows. 7:05, the Pirates take on the Nationals. 7:10 games, the Brewers take on the Mets. The Phillies battle the Marlins. 8 o'clock, Yankees take on the Astros, depending on when this game ever ends. The Dodgers take on the D-backs at 9:40. The Orioles take on the Angels at 10:07, and the Athletics take on the Mariners at 10:10. It's also a radio station here in New York. 10:10 wins. I'll let I say that. All right. So now we'll go to the NHL. These players are heating up here. All right. Just a quick update on this right now, as one game is ended and the Capitals-Penguins game is over, as the Capitals do beat the Penguins 4-3, and now take a 2-1 game of the series. The Jets have just taken a 5-4 lead over the Predators with 4:50 to go, as they try to keep pace up with that series. Okay, so tomorrow your schedule runs like this, as the Lightning will take on the Bruins at 7, and the Knights will take on the Sharks at 10. And I'm looking forward to that, as the Knights have taken a 2-1 lead. Hey, 2 more wins, and they'll go to the conference finals. It could happen, folks. It could happen in just their first year of expansion. Unbelievable. All right, so now NBA, and we got a doozy here. As right now, the Cavaliers are leading the Raptors 113-109 to go, 113-112, 39.6 seconds to go in overtime. LeBron has a triple-double with 26 points, 13 assists, 11 rebounds. Jonas has 21 points, 21 rebounds, and 2 assists. Wow, 21 points and 21 rebounds. And 6:26 in the first quarter left. The Pelicans right now lead the Warriors 11-8. Rondo has 5 points, 3 assists, and 1 rebound. Durant has 3 points, 2 assists, and a rebound. I'm sure those numbers will change, of course. All right, looking at tomorrow's schedule, we read it like this. The Jazz will take on the Rockets at 8 o'clock. Gobert and Harden will be your players to watch in that series, while at the later game, there is no later game, so that's just it. All right, so now we'll go to the news items of the day. And like this. Now, as we all know, that playoff matchups in hockey do get more intense, as all the fans know. Well, it happened again, and once again involves Washington Capitals enforcer Tom Wilson. He ended up injuring another player. This time the victim was Penn's rookie Zachary Ashton Reese, who was on the receiving end of a body check from Wilson, and once again that resulted in a significant contact to the head. And Austin Reese collapsed in a heap as soon as Wilson made contact with him, and it's unsurprising when you consider just how violent the collision was. The hit was so violent, in fact, that the impact lifted Wilson off his feet and sent him flying back to the Washington Capitals bench. Wilson, however, seemed to be perfectly fine after that. Such was not the case for Austin Weeks. However, and did not only leave his gloves on the ice as he skated back to the Penguins bench with help from trainers, but he had traces of his own blood on the ice as well. Ugh. Austin Reese looked like he could barely move after the hit when he was looking the way that the Penguins trainers were holding onto him. As they escorted him down the tunnel and back to the Penguins locker room, it seemed likely were serious concern he could fall over any moment. Needless to say, fans at the SVG Paints Arena wanted a penalty called on the play. In fact, they likely wanted more than that. But after conveying for several long moments, NHL officials on the ice decided that no penalty would be awarded to Wilson. History repeats itself, folks. Penguins will look again to the Department of Player Safety for some justice regarding Wilson. And it will be interesting to see how they choose to rule on this hit, especially if Austin Reese is out for an extended period of time. Twice in the same week by the same player. This guy, I think, is got to be a very dirty player. Incidentally, Penguins' top three players, Malkin, Hagelin, and Dunlin, were game-time decisions for tonight's Game 3 series against the Capitals. Russ Brandon, the president of the Bills and the Sabres, has resigned as of today. Terry and Kim Pengula, who are the owners of the Pengula Sports and Entertainment complex, operates both teams and have accepted the resignation. The Buffalo News responded to the move. Came after the company conducted an internal investigation into Brandon's workplace behavior and allegations of personal misconduct. And oh joy, we have a score in the Yankees Astros game. The Yankees now lead 3-0 in the top of the ninth.
Gary Sanchez with a throw-on jack.
And a runner on second with one out. One of the big three scores again. I love it. Okay, disturbing news from my neck of the woods. I have it here. As a high school football from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, that's Southern Jersey, by the way. His name is Nick Storm. Claims he was fired because he had, ready for this now, too many black players on his team. Storm told the Cherry Hill Courier Post that he was fired as a coach despite a 34-6 record over a 4-year span. He was also placed on leave as the school's history teacher. The school disputes his firing anything to do with race. Storm has stated that he has tried to build a program into one that is based on kids being on ability and high character as well as high grades. He said from day one, the administration told me that he did not approve of the ratio of black to white students. Storm, who is white, by the way, has told the newspaper that half the team is made up of minorities. He said the race ratio came up at least 10 to 20 times with the administration. Storm has also filed a grievance with the teachers' union. Oh, boy, this is unbelievable. All right, so continuing on. The New York Knicks have concluded their series of interviews for the head coaching job after they finished talking to Warriors assistant Mike Brown. Now, they are huddling a consensus for the hiring of the candidate. League sources told ESPN. The Knicks now have to hope to have a new coach by the end of this week, according to certain sources. The Knicks are searching for their 11th head coach since the 2001-2002 season. Management hopes this hire can bring back stability to a franchise that has not reached the playoffs in 5 seasons. Steve Bills and General Manager Scott Perry hope to build a young core around Kristaps Porzingis, who is not expected to return until midway into next season as he recovers from a torn ACL injury. The Knicks own all their future first-round draft picks and project to have a significant cap space for the 2019 season. Yeah, we'll go with that one, bub. You're going to need it. Okay, that was the horse racing news. That's right, I said horse racing. The Kentucky Derby is now only 4.5 days away, and according to the experts here, the horse named Justify has been picked to win the Derby at 3-1 odds. The Derby takes place this Saturday. Justify is one of two horses who did not race at age 2. The only other is third choice, Magnum Moon, who also got raised as a 2-year-old. His odds are 6-1. The interesting fact here is that no horse since 1882, I said 1882, not 1982, has won the Derby while not racing as a 2-year-old. And Justify has also won the Santa Anita Derby. 1882. That's right. The Kentucky Derby has been around that long. I almost forgot that. All right. Baker Mayfield's agent said that the Patriots had indicated that they were considering trading up to the number 2 draft pick overall selection in last week's draft. The Heisman Trophy winner of Oklahoma was where the Heisman was available. Field agent Jack Mills made the comments on the Business Sports podcast. Mayfield ended up top overall pick by the Cleveland Browns, but Mills said the Patriots were interested enough in his client to swing a blockbuster trade if Mayfield fell off the number 1 spot. Mills said the Browns kept their interest in Mayfield right after the draft, and that the New York Jets indicated that they were planned to pick him if he was available at the number 3 spot. When he visited the Jets, saying, "You're our guy if available," asked him that day of the draft whether he was expecting the Jets to select Mayfield. Mills said, "We knew that this was the bottom line. The Jets selected Sam Darnold as the number 3 selection, though, off the board instead." Ugh. You can make smart moves or you can make dumb moves. And unfortunately, I think the Jets made a very dumb and costly move at that. I don't know. All right, Brewers reliever Josh Hader became the first pitcher in saves. First pitcher became an official stat in 1969 to strike out at least 8 batters in a save of less than 3 innings. Hader, who collected his 4th save of the season last night, went 2.5 innings to secure the win over the Reds. He got 7 strikeouts as well as 1 on a bunt attempt. That went foul. He also went up walking 1 batter. The hard-hitting southpaw has struck out 39 batters this season in 18 innings of work. And he said he didn't even mind the work. All right, news on the hockey front here. The Carolina Hurricanes have terminated the contract of President Rob Francis. This comes after 2 months after losing his general manager position. Francis saw his contract with the Hurricanes terminated. The team had made the announcement yesterday. Francis, who held the title of general manager since 2014, was moved to president of hockey operations back in March. The Hurricanes also announced that Joe Nieuwendyk has resigned from his position as pro scout and team advisor. The Hurricanes have not made the playoffs since 2008-2009. They finished 6th in the Metropolitan Division this season, despite high expectations. They had goaltender Scott Darling, as well as forwards Justin Williams and Marcus Kruger in the offseason. Darling, however, ended up losing his job to Cam Ward. Finished with 3.18 goals against average and a save percentage of 8.88. 3/8. This comes a little more than a week after Coach Bill Peters resigned with a year left in his contract and is now going to be coach of the Calgary Flames.
Crazy
Yes. And Francis and Nieuwendyk are now both out. Oof. All right. Toronto Maple Leafs will not bring back Lou Lamoriello as their general manager for the 2018 and 2019 season. You Devils fans might be familiar with that name, of course. The Leafs announced last night his contract expired at the end of the season. He has held the position since July of 2015, since he left the Devils. by the president of Maple Leafs, Brandon Shanahan, in a statement, and said that Lou, who is now 75, would transition over to a role as senior advisor. Under his time as general manager, the Leafs made back-to-back playoff appearances the past 2 seasons, something they have not done since going 6 straight from 1999 to 2004. The Leafs set new franchise records this season with 105 points and their 49 wins, thanks in part to sensation Austin Matthews. Well, he does seem to be a sensation. Just see here. And as I think I mentioned last night, that Pat Riley said Hassan Whiteside was not prepared for the playoffs, and that's a shame coming from a guy who did wonders for Seton Hall not that long ago. And being that Seton Hall is only 20 minutes from my house, I find that very disheartening. You know, he was such a great player, you know, when he was with the Pirates at Seton Hall. Now he's become lackluster. All right, so let's get an update here. The Cavaliers edged the Raptors 113-112 in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Semis. Final numbers, LeBron James has 26 points, 13 assists, and 11 rebounds. And Jonas had finished with 21 points, 21 rebounds, and 2 assists. The Pelicans now lead the Warriors 25-18 with 2:38 to go in the first quarter. And in the NHL, if we can get back to it, and I will leave this game was just about over, almost. The Astros are now to their last out in a 4-0 trailing now by the Yankees. And this is the final. The Jets over the Predators 7-4. So that was something. It was 4-4 with midway through the third, and the Jets just snuck up and scored 3 goals. Well, how do you like that?
Including 2 empty netters.
2 empty netters. I've never seen that before. Wow.
It's been done before.
All my years I've been watching hockey, I don't think I've ever seen 2 empty netters. All right, maybe once.
It's been done before.
Yeah, but it's very rare.
Mm-hmm. But you see, the other team that's trailing never gives up. They keep pulling the goaltender for a 6 skater, even after they get scored on by an empty netter.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen that very often.
Right.
Well, I guess it can happen at some point. Okay, bottom 12 now. The Royals and the Red Sox are tied at 4. 1 out, nobody on. Perini is pitching and Benedetti is batting. And at top 9, the Blue Jays and Twins are also tied at 4. Runner on first and nobody out. Rodney is pitching and Diaz is at bat.
Fernando Rodney?
Yeah, I believe it's Fernando Rodney.
Former Tiger.
Yes.
Part of the legacy, the era of failure.
Mm-hmm. Also tied, the White Sox and Cardinals are now heading to the bottom of the 9th. Tied at 2. Oriole is pitching and Martinez is coming back. Top 5, Dodgers lead the Diamondbacks now 3-1. 1 out, nobody on. Hodge is pitching and Henderson is at bat. And right now it's 3-2. It's 3-2 on the count here with the Yankees and Astros. Top 4, Athletics and Mariners are still tied at 1. Runner on first, nobody out. Fernandez is pitching and Simeon is at bat. Top 4, Padres still lead the Giants 1-0. Now a runner on third. Suarez is pitching and Pretty is at bat. And all the rest are a final, just to be sure here. And yes, everything is now a final. All right, so now just 1 out to go with the Yankees and Astros. I'll hand it back over to you. It's 4-0. It looks to be out of reach for the Astros.
Yep, it appears so. So, once again, the Tigers beat the Rays 2-1 tonight at Comerica Park in downtown Detroit. That's going to do it. Before we sign off, we want to remind everyone to share this episode and our entire podcast on social media. Have their friends share that as well, because we want to tell them that the Michigan Sports Truth podcast is in search of a wider audience that is fans of sports, especially our teams in the state of Michigan. So please spread the word about the Michigan Sports Truth podcast, its Facebook page, the Michigan Sports Truth, and its Twitter handle at Michigan_Truth. I'm Taylor Phillips for Louis Tenore. Follow me on Twitter at DT2Phillips. We'll talk to you again tomorrow sometime in probably 8 o'clock or so, because the Tigers play the Rays at 1:10. Michael Fulmer and Blake Snell go at it on the mound. 110, not 105, 110. TTFN, ta-ta for now. Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
Good night.
The hosts of the Michigan Sports Truth podcast do not take any suggestions or criticism from any member of its audience on how it should be run. It is up to the host to decide what they want to cover. They also do not intend to be any amount of popular in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Additionally, the views of the audience, right or wrong, do not reflect the actual truth revealed on this program.
Mission complete.